So we load into Sunny Inferno for our first game of the night here. You can see we've got Mr. Bobby, Leonopter XY, Blaze, ACO. Whoops, I have the team. So those will be correct in a second. You can see at the top the team's currently swapped, but only here for the first round, as we're currently just waiting for our lovely players to get past the knife round. And then, of course, that is going to be M365 popping over to the CT side, as we will see your team popping over to the T side. So we've got the correct players on the board. We've got the correct teams aligned with where they're going. And we will now jump in to the pistol round. And I do apologize, I'm trying to fix something real quick on the production end, but we're going to jump right into it. Right off the rip, it's going to be a standard 2B setup, but it looks like right away we might be having the T's wanting to make a quick play over. We've got a 5-man setup looking to barrel in. Ramza set up on the corner, looking to try and shut this down, but they've already got CT smoked off. They've got Cave picked off by Bobby, and now a 1-man advantage, but look at the health. Ramza, if he can do a little bit more here, he could pick off these players and try to open this site up a little bit wider, but that bomb's down. Blaze holding down Banana. He's one of the still moderately health players, and he will pick off White Knight. It's going to be going into a 3v5, but look how low these T's are. It might not matter at all. Ramza, Tysel, they all fall, and damaged doesn't matter when you're here to win the round. Great job here from your team to get a strong pistol round start and get themselves up 1-0. You can see we currently watching the Your Team boys figuring out what they want to do here, and it looks like it's going to be a 5-man setup over towards B here from M365. Looks like they want to do a classic Astralis pyramid here, building a pyramid, plenty of clay here on the B site, but it looks to be the wrong one. As you can see, your team just going to take over A right off the rip, and that'll do it. That will end the round. What the hell was that on the ground? I don't know if anybody else saw that. It looked like a giant error on the ground, which I think was a chicken, but I'm not 100% certain. So we will maybe figure out, maybe not. I don't know that we'll ever know what that was. But now it's a fast retake attempt, just trying to get some damage in from the CT side. You do have, of course, White Knight flanking in through CT. The rest of the counter-terrorist side looking just to try and play over towards mid, looking maybe to try and get some guns here off the eco. White Knight looking towards library himself, and does spot out one, gets into a little engagement. At the same time, Cave falls over in alt mid, and ultimately only one player going down. Yes, it is Bobby to fall. So 1 kill from Ramza on the round, but an easy 2-round conversion coming out from the Your Team side. They convert the eco and will put themselves up to 2-0. Yeah, the chickens are errors. That is hilarious. I don't know why that's happening. I can't do anything about that, but it is hilarious to see. So shout out to Pop Flash, the only place where chickens are affronts to God. So apologies for that on the viewing end, but hey, it makes for a little bit of a unique experience here at the APL. And speaking of unique experiences, we're having Leon trying to entry over here with a MAC-10. He finds one, ACO finds another, and Cave and Ramza fall. Opens up this B bomb site, and now all they need to do is get the bomb up here. Bobby running it in. White Knight trying to land something with the XM bottom mid, but it's going to be Blaze to finish him off, represented by Captain Magma there on the scoreboard. And you're seeing just currently trying to hold out here. We've got some jiggle peeking happening, and some double jiggle peeking, which ends up with Lucifer finding a frag. And Focal decides it's probably not worth his while to try and hunt any more here. will ultimately send himself packing. And it's another clean round for your team. I mean, if we just pull up the statistics here real quick, you'll see, like, Lucifer 1-0, Leon 4-0, Blaze 2-0. Only one player's fallen after 3 rounds of play, and that's Bobby. Really just trying to escape with an SMG, and oh, luckily for Focal, he does survive there right at the end. And he's just trying to hold on to this print stream for all it's worth, which is probably a good little bit. I don't know, any skim barons in the chat could probably weigh in more than I, but we'll see these players heading out to do battle once more. Will your team choose to take this back into that B site where they have been having a ton of success thus far? You can see, I think, a little bit of a mist smoke over there on the B site, and they're going to throw another smoke top mid just to block out anything up there. And currently Ramza, Cave trying to hold this down. They're going to fall for it, and Leon has to try and push forward, but a good smoke out there will deny him any further advancement. Ramza holding the line. ACO trying to probe a little bit here over towards the apps and see if anybody will peek into him. And you can see, I mean, the CT side, even after just a few rounds, the money not great. ACO finds one of his own, quickly traded by Dysel. Ooh, but right back as Bobby rips him away. And the chicken, an arrow to God, blocking the way, but won't do enough to hold off your team from pushing in to the A site. Maybe Focal can do something, though. Spots out one. The Deagle connects with one. Can he find a second? He can't and falls. Leon holding CT finds the last remaining player from Ramza, and that's a 4th round on the board for your team. And Leon, Lucifer, and Blaze still standing flawless. We'll pop into round number 5, and finally, if you're an M365 fan, they're going to be sitting there with some guns. Tysel getting himself on that op. Some M4s in the hands of White Knight, Cave, but will they be able to do anything with it? They spot out over towards mid, and currently just trying to feel some things out, see if maybe someone will lend themselves over into this fight. A nade being thrown up. I don't know exactly where the guns are going. But Lucifer trying to get something done himself on the big green. Jumping over towards apps. Going to be looking to sneak forward a bit. Now, if he gets a little overzealous, there is Focal waiting in pit. White Knight does manage to find Bobby before falling, and that's going to be one of these A defenders down off the rip. Flash doesn't quite go where Lucifer's intending it, but does find its way still. Back over into the fight. Leon pushing in. It's an early find from Focal. He just falls back into pit, trying to be disciplined. Cave finds Blaze in the meantime, but Leon finds a trade of his own, and he finds Focal as well. That's going to leave a 2 versus 2 that Cave is going to turn into a 1 versus 2, falling early to ACO over there in the short position, or should I say the arch position, as that is the accurate call. And now we're just finding Leon sitting up here in Cemetery, and Ramza looking to see if anything will be given away. Now, if we look here at the players around the board, ACO currently watching over towards Bauk. It's going to be Ramza finding one. Can he find ACO? ACO already tagged, but he gets the kill. The headshot connects, and the flawless T side continues to show its strength as a 5-round streak catapults YT into almost a 1/2 right off the rip. So now looks to be a reinvestment. Plenty of money over here on the CT side, but they are really going to be looking to see if there's anything to be done. Bomb will be tossed down early from Bobby. And meanwhile, Lucifer trying to see if he can find anything on an early pick. Tysel currently sitting down on an MP9 himself. And at the same time, Cave wants to try to push himself into a position where maybe he can strike. Nobody exchanging any blows. A little bit of a quick little reaction there. Leon jumping out of Balk, catches Cave off guard. And, oh my goodness, ACO finding one of his own, quickly traded, falls back to Lucifer. And now a 3v2 situation, make it a 3v1, as now it's just White Knight with it all to play for, pushing in through Speedway, trying to find anything, and he will find one. ACO falls. White Knight, could he be the hero that M365 need to put themselves on the board? Well, right now, Lucifer sitting in pit with an op, and they've got Leon over in Cubby. The chicken, an error of God, sitting in bottom arch, spotted out, but that goes straight into the arms of Leon, and now for a very inappropriate thing to do, I am turning auto director back on real quick because I screwed that up and it turned off. So, a little bit of movie magic, so anybody at home, maybe don't judge me too harshly for that one. And we're going to jump right into round number 7. Now, interestingly, M365 not opting to take any sort of timeouts just yet. Perhaps feeling a little confident that all they need is a little bit more gunplay to get this back in their favor, but the gunplay going over towards YT as Bobby and Blaze find the first 2 at top banana, and already the CTs might be having to save this. Flank going on, a little bit of a fight going on bottom banana. No one ever said auto director is perfect. And it also seems to be really loving this T side, but who isn't? As they're looking to get up onto 7 rounds on the T side of Inferno. And it's an interesting debate going on right now. Is the T side in Counter-Strike 2 just overwhelming right now? I mean, we're constantly seeing these long streaks on the T side, the overwhelming just ability to run in, get some headshots. Nice little find there from Teisel. And an interesting Teisel cam here. I don't know exactly what we're looking at. And Bobby and Blaze are going to fall to the bomb, with ACO finding a cave pickup right there at the end. Well, here in the show match, we do, of course, have to go through a little bit of growing pains. But right now, the growing pains are showing for the CT side. They're still looking to try and find something. Lucifer back up on this op, 3-1 to his name right now. Can he make that 4-1 as he looks to try and fight against Teisel, but Teisel wins the fight. Immediately, that op going to be picked back up. And again, I'm not really sure what we're doing with these camera angles from Auto Director. We're over on Cave right now, who is just trying to look out. Oh, and Teisel, a second find there on porch. So that's going to set him up well going here into the 8th round. And potentially CT's first round on the board. Blaze looking to see if anybody gets a little over-aggressive. And I am sorry, chat, but the chickens being error messages walking around really is getting me. It is funnier than it should be. And just like that, it's going to fall down to a 4v2. 2 remaining T-side players just hanging out in alt mid and bottom mid respectively. Perhaps looking for a save opportunity, maybe just looking for a little bit of over-aggression, but you can see the cave cam, the focal cam, more than willing just to play back, sit around these corners, wait, and try to see if anybody walks themselves into death row. And it looks like Cave might find himself with a fight. It looks like Auto Director a little more focused on what's going on over on the B site, but we'll tune over to see ACO. He's going to pop out, finds Cave. That's the first. 20 seconds, and Focal has to come up huge here, but he gets smoked off. It's a 3v2, and Teisel, he puts up so much in this round. Is he going to be forgotten? As it looks like a successful bomb plant, the CT's still looking to try and find some way back in. White Knight fights his way up lane, but if he falls at the 2v2, he's trying to find a first pick. He does, and now the last player spotted out, and White Knight with an absolutely huge XM play to get M365 their first round. Teisel coming up with a huge find early on. Focal with one to keep it close in number. And a valiant effort there from the T side, but they are not able to keep it flawless. A 1 round found, and the Brazil on the board. And the Brazil, well, it's a little bit fitting, as this is the combination of players who, quite honestly, have found themselves on the Brazil side. We do know that, in his own right, Teisel, a big Brazil fan. But I don't think he likes being on this side of the scoreline. Does find a crack. Tries to see if he can get anything through it. He finds a player, but can't find a frag. Bobby top mid. Looking to try and find something here, but will have to get a little aggressive here to try and hunt it, and he does find a first. It's Teisel in the opt-down. How huge that was last round, and it tries to get picked up. It isn't successful. Cave denies up from the balcony position, but Cave here with it all to do. Spots out the first player. Luckily gets away with his life, but he runs out of bullets. Leon takes his scalp, and now Ramza, he needs to try and find something here, but ACO's on the flank. Not even needed. Lucifer picks him off with the big green, and White Knight, the trusty XM, but with it all to do, but doing it is. 2 picks in the 1v4. Will he be able to find anything further? Trying to push up, knows there's a player close, knows where the second is as well. He spots out this one, and now it's a 1v1. ACO far, the bomb planted for White Knight, but ACO prevails. And I'm gonna try and fix this one more time. And we'll see. Hopping over the ACO cam, and ACO coming up huge so far in the match as well. 11-3, Leon at 13-4. And finally here, deep into the first half, round number 10, we're seeing some frags coming out from the M365 side, but it might be too little too late. And now some early aggression towards Banana. This helped out early, but Cave with an early frag. It's going to be still falling, though. ACO follows up. It's going to be an not an XM, a Mag 7 from Ramza that tries to find more, but the B site falls. ACO in mid. Wants to try and set himself up something as well, but that pesky XM just comes once again to just put harm into the Your Team side. And White Knight, he picks up an AK for his trouble, but Teisel smoked out. 3 scalps to find. Leon is down to a pesky 10 health, but it doesn't look like they're going for this one. Teisel even tucked away, but Leon well aware, and the 10 health doesn't matter much when you got the big green on your side. Or for him, the big worm god, and it looks like maybe even a double op setup coming out from the T-sided Your Team. Heading into the really dominant end of this first half. Leon falls, 10 health, not much he could have done, but still the double ops recovered. And we're finding ourselves on round number 11, looking at potentially a 10-1 scoreline. The money, still not phenomenally bad over on the M365 side. I mean, of course, with max loss bonus, they are going to be able to buy themselves up. Teisel electing for only head armor and a 5-7, it looks like, so it's going to be interesting where he chooses to play that. ACO spotting out from over here on the bridge. White Knight trying to cheat forward over here in apps. And at the same time, Leon looking to hunt forward himself. Bobby with one of these recovered scouts just hanging over onto the side of Banana, and 2 quick frags. ACO and Leon coming together to pick off 2 A players. Now, once again, it's only Focal. Has to try and find something here. Alone on the site, but it's Leon once again, 17-4 from the absolute powerhouse, and Ramza activates, gets 1. Cave coming in with the big green himself, wants to try and find something, but they're already smoked out, and they know this bomb's ticking. It looks like Cave looks to try and hunt over towards Library, and it's Blaze to find his 4th of the match. He hasn't really been asked to come up huge in this game yet, but I mean, what more is there to do when you've got ACO, you've got Leon, you've got Bobby, everybody just popping off and finding frags. We've seen Lucifer on this op as well be a force to be reckoned with, but again, just not really being asked. And oh no, they want to hunt him. They know he's hiding over here. They know he's somewhere on this site. They've already cleared Church. Will they clear Dark Cave? Tries to hold the op, but ACO denies it, not even allowing a little solace going into the last round of the half. And a 10-1 scoreline as we pop back in for our final round here in the first half. And you do gotta wonder, you do gotta be asking, on the CT side, is it a mistake to not have taken one of these timeouts early? I mean, you've been struggling for a lot of this half, trying to just find something on the board, running through errors, but when everything's working for your team, do you need to go back to the drawing board, or do you need to just hope your players pop off? And ACO finds one, finds a team kill from White Knight in the Chaos, and that is going to be decimation here on the B-bomb site. And now, M365, it's going to have to be a hell of a show, and that's a good start from Ramza. He finds a nade, but they're still over here towards A. They weren't completely sold on the B play. Focal going to have to come up big here from the coffin position, and that Molly just denying him anything. His teammates coming into support. Lucifer already trained. Bobby spots out one, and he is boosted up. He finds an early pick on a Ramza. Cave falling as well, and now the only man left, Focal. The last round, he has to come up big, finds one, ACO, one-shot potential, and it's going to be a Zeus from Lucifer to send the CT side to hell, and you can see exactly how dominant this has been thus far. Your team absolutely running away with it off the start. And now, I mean, it's just got to be said, we're starting to see a CT side come out, which, for most people here on Inferno, that's their preference. For most people, they say, hell, give me the CT side. I want to go out there. I want to own some people. And it's an early pickoff from the T side, so maybe a resurgence. White Knight barreling up mid. There's two players to find. White Knight finds a second. Bobby trying to find two of his own, but he has to fall back. Two players jumping from Bauk, though, and it's an early 3K from the M365 side, and Cave with a ped shot over onto Blaze as well. So now all falls to Leon, who is trying to flank here into the site, and he's spotted out, and he's taken down as a near flawless pistol round keeps the T's in the game. 2-11. It would have to be a monstrous comeback from the aforementioned Microsoft boys. But they have been known to pull off miracles. Microsoft isn't a billion-trillion-dollar company for nothing. And you're going to be seeing they're going for the eco. They've got 3 SMGs. Ramza electing for only a CZ. Cave eating a little bit of nade damage here. Going into the 4-man B stack right off the rip. And looks like Bobby maybe even trying just to rotate back early. I thought at first that was a fake rotate, but they are sending 2 back to the A site. Which, actually, at first it looked like a little bit of a misplay, but it might be the right intention because it looks like Cave wants to try and fake over here. So it's going to need to be some strong discipline from the CT side to not allow themselves to fall into over-rotation. The smoke will go out onto CT. You can see it's already Bobby starting to rotate back, but not quick enough were the T's. They needed to delay just a little bit longer. It's one trade kill coming out. White Knight and Leon exchanging. Bobby finding one of his own. And oh my goodness, an absolute monster! ACO with a double deagle headshot. Blaze comes through with one of his own. And right when it was going well for M365, it goes oh so wrong. And man, Auto Director not catching much of this, but we are seeing an absolute stomp coming out from YT. And some AKs will be found here, but could it be too little too late? I mean, that really went almost as well as possible for M365. Good early scout frag on top of a nade takes out White Knight, so a 5-4 early. And this fight over in mid looks to try and secure up something. Leon Trying to aim up anything he can find over here on this banana side. And it is just an all-out brawl here to try and close up this map for the CTs. And for the Ts, they're just trying to find a way to fight back into this. Some damage exchanged, a little bit equal there on Cave and Bobby, and it's going to be Blaze to come out ahead. Ramza comes up with a trade frag of his own. The AK still firing, finds a second Ramza, and that makes it a 3v3. Only one player remains on Banana, but he's going to use an early smoke to buy himself some room. And we're just going to slow it down. Bobby perches up over here in Arch. Blaze just playing behind the smoke, and Focal, he wants to try and take this fight, but decides to group up with his teammate instead. And Ramza, he wants to try and find his way into the site. It's going to be an early find over there off the balk. But Ramza well aware of this. Hasn't taken much damage for the 2 kills thus far, and Focal has to go up to fight. Bobby isn't expecting the high angle, and ACO comes through. Bobby comes through, and it's a 13-2 victory for your team as they take Inferno in style. Oh my goodness. I knew we were in for a game, ladies and gentlemen, but I didn't know we were in for quite the stomp that we saw on map 1. So we're going to pop into a 10-minute break, and when we come back, are we going to see a little bit more life coming out of Microsoft 365 as we pop in to Nuke? Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are popping into the knife round, of course, but this will quickly turn into the first gun round as soon as you can see your team just going to go ahead and give their lives to the fire so that they can give their brethren on the opposite side a little bit of a chance to choose their own side heading in. So let's see where they want to end up, as it is M365's map pick. And we'll see where these players want to end up going here in just a second. Okay, and it looks like the sides are going to be switched. We're going to be having M365 over here on the CT side to start out. Your team up 1 map off of their map win on Inferno. You can see a 13-2 showing from the boys in orange currently, and now they want to try and turn this into a little bit more as a quick hit over onto the A site. White Knight finds a first. It's going to be quick over to Bobby. Fat frags quickly flying. As you can see, we're going to be quickly losing everybody but ACO. Tyso, a nice 2k in the site, and still just sitting over towards this mini position. Wants to try and find something more. ACO wants to try and edge him out as he does look to try and fight towards Squeaky, but decides to try and take it outside instead. So right now, an early lead here from M365, which they will be very happy to find after losing the first pistol on their last map. You can see Tyso trying to get a little mobile as well, shifting down over to Hell. White Knight currently looking down on top of the hut position. ACO, he finds himself over in Mini. He wants to try and strike. He's trying to clear everywhere possible, but can't currently find White Knight, who's hiding up towards this rafters. Will he spot it out as he starts to get in towards the site? White Knight in a prime position here to potentially end this round early, but ACO finds him. A 1v1 between the captains as they look to try and see, will ACO from a 1v3 position be able to rip this round back into the favor of the T side? And he does it! 3 kills from the captain, showing why he knows his stuff, and he's able to take your team into a pistol round win after everyone falls on the initial push. Phenomenal stuff coming out here from the captain, and Tyso, he puts up a fight, but those pistol round frags just go the ACO way, and he says AC no way to M365's early pistol round win. White Knight, a little bit of damage taken, and he wants to go play close over there in the hut. Cave taking an early lot of damage outside as he drops down to 2 HP off the bat, and now Everybody but the captain aims up towards the outside position. White Knight falls to alert from ACO. Lucifer trying to spot out anybody down here. Will he see the player in the corner? He does! Nice headshot from Lucifer. And now Leon tries to support his team. A push down here towards the B site. Finds himself Teisel on the pick. And now Ramza and the Wounded Cave to try and hold off here as it is a full B site attack. Bobby taking some early damage. Leon trying to support himself, and Cave with 2 HP to his name finally picked away as Leon claims his second in the round, and it's a flawless capitalization from your team to secure up the following round. 2 secured. And now it's going to be a little worse for wear over here on the T side. You can see not a ton of money to work with, but they are going to force up. Gonna have a few M4s to their name. Gonna have a few SMGs as well, and those MP9s, definitely no slouches. And the captain for YT still flawless at 4-0. Lucifer with an early op, taking a chunk of damage. Now one-shot range for those M4s, as he looks just to try and play back here. Looks to try and cheat up as well, and takes a little bit of extra damage, but it's not a significant thing to really harp on about for him. Teisel, nice position down here at bottom. Marshmallow, but it's Captain Magma, aka Blaze, to take him out. Focal with 2 of his own to fight M365 back in board. That's one of the M4s, which absolutely had to come up huge in this round, and so far they are. It's going to be a drop down here onto the site from White Knight, looking to try and secure a few guns of his own. ACO a 5th going up on his belt, but it's going to be quickly traded by Ramza, but Blaze once again finds another player. Similarly, at bottom, Marshmallow seems to be dominating the spot right now. Cave trying to make sure nobody crossed over down into Secret, and just going to send himself back up into heaven, wants to consolidate with his teammate. ACO looking to try to keep himself and his team flawless as White Knight falls down. It's going to be a find from Cave and a find for ACO. 2 kills on him and his teammate as they look to try and close out a 3rd round, which would come huge and comes true. A full house between Blaze 00 and ACO to land a hat trick at the start of Nuke. And if you're an M365 fan or an M365 player, you might be thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, oh no. Are we walking back into what we just came out of on Inferno? Could this be potentially the start and conclusion to a very bad day? Some early smokes coming out to try and land some early range for the T-side players, but it's going to be an aggression. Teisel finds one of his own, but 3 of his teammates fall in exchange. Tries to get down into the boxes, try to find something to work with. Focal pushes in as well, but too many Ts, too many rifles, and a 4th round on the board for your team as they get up and look to try and strike hot again here on Nuke. It was an early T-side win from Inferno, and the T side continues to deliver. And I believe if we actually think back, this might be a 6-round streak coming out from your team if we look at the conclusion of Inferno as well. And really, I mean, what's to say aside from somebody needs to find a kill on ACL and perhaps a few more on Blaze, because they are looking deadly right now. Blaze especially looking to go on fire. Is Bobby. Entries out. Finds a player waiting for him, but Rams is going to find the kill. And it's actually Blaze disconnecting. Unlucky. Not going to be able to recover that. And this might be your team finding their way into, well, an early disadvantage. Supported not only by the CT side frags, but looks like the ISPs as well. So it's going to be a slow of game. Blaze looks to try and fight his way back in. ACO swings out, finds one, can't find a second. And Leon, one man to do it all, and he won't be able to. So the first round on the board for M365, and they do have to be feeling good about that, but at the same time, with Blaze falling to the ISP issues of that round, it's hard to exactly get too excited about that one. So the match is going to be paused while we wait for a reconnection here from Blaze. So we'll take a short break ourselves after we just discuss, what did go well for M365 there. Well, you could see it was an early pick as they did push in towards the ramp. So an early find there did keep them in the fight. Cave coming through with a nice shot to get a third on the board. And after that, I think your team a little demoralized. They lost a player. They found themselves really just wedged in there over in ramp with nothing really to do. So, yes, trying to buy some time maybe for Blaze to pop back in, but at the same time just really trying to hold off and allow themselves some room to breathe because... yes, their first round falls, but you look at the money on these players. 10,000 on ACO, 6,000 on Leon, 7,000 on Bobby. Blaze even going to be coming back with 8,500, so they have enough to buy Lucifer, who's uncharacteristically quiet this match, and still be, well, pretty dang rich. So, over on M365, good money across the board. Even if they did, unfortunately, lose this round, they would be sitting... well, still with some money to buy into the next, but they are hoping to turn this into a streak and fight their way back into Nuke. So, in the meantime, we will pop into a short break while we wait for Blaze to reconnect, and we will be right back with you in a few moments. So you can see our players popping back into the server. Blaze luckily able to rejoin us here on sunny Nuke, as we will be jumping in to... round number 6. So M365 coming off their first round win off of that beautiful little hold towards ramp. And a little bit of a support from Spectrum, Xfinity, Verizon, whoever exactly we got going on over on that side of the camp. But simultaneously, it's going to be another quick hit over here towards ramp. They say, hey, it's not just the ISP that's showing up. It's also us here ready to frag out. It's Cave and Ramza, though. They are able to hold the line, and right away, Lucifer, the only player on your team to find anything, and it comes at the cost of him and his teammate sitting down with only 37 health combined. Make that 15 as ACO now the last man standing. Does try to find maybe something here over in Trophy, but not too much more to write home about. And he's looking to see if maybe he's gifted a headshot, but instead it's him that'll be found as a full house from Ramza, and Cave will end up seeing the Microsoft M365 team taking an early second round. I say early because, of course, we did have to wait quite a significant time back on Nuke before we saw it. And now, well, we're finding our way back perhaps into this game, as it's a save coming out from the YT boys, looking to try and fight their way a little towards outside. I thought maybe this would be a fast play with all 5. Instead, it's Teisel being gifted a fight here over towards outside, not able to find anything with it. ACO trying to fall back himself. Teisel finds one. It's Leon to trade it. And Cave trying to overlook this smoke. Spots out one, but isn't able to connect the shot. And a second player crosses by. And he knows these guys are on pistols. There's no need to overextend. Focal and White Knight got to come up big over towards the ramp area. And now we're just kind of slowing down here, or should I say speeding up, as ACO dashes into White Knight's waiting XM. And perhaps Blaze as well. 6 and 3, make it 7 and 3. A nice little deagle headshot there, but 2 health remaining. Blaze definitely, or White Knight definitely getting his money's worth out of the XM this round, and will find himself looking to try, well, really going into the next round to continue the damage. 300 damage from White Knight on the round. Very well played from the man in white and blue. He's very patient over here. I was actually worried for a second we were having another computer or ISP mishap, and a close deagle shot doesn't connect. He is looking to try and find this last bit of damage. It would be nice if he could pull a gun going into the next round. And all he needs is one shot, a good shot onto Ramza. Lowers him down more truly now. Any shot could seal the deal, and Focal walks into the deagle, but also into a frag, as he finds himself and his team up onto a third round. So very well coming out of the M365 side. And you can see the Zeus coming out from Focal as well. He wants to try and find something with that. Cave going up towards the heavens with an op. Looks to try and hold off against any early aggression over towards Hut. And Bobby, early position on Silo, but it's found out by Teisel. Early frag from him. Nade to try and secure an extra little bit of damage, but currently he's in full possession of outside position. He even sees the bomb running back towards spawn as Leon runs back to secure a little bit of extra utility. And now Teisel going to have the room to push with out here. Will he be ready for Leon still to be over in spawn? And he's not. Lucifer, Leon, they both come up big. Headshot on Teisel. Shot over onto Focal. And now Lucifer trying to find himself an extra frag into the site. Isn't able to do it. White Knight finds his scalp. But Captain Magma, Blaze, able to fight his way back into the round and keep his team within scoring chances as the bomb will go down. Leon, a plant for Mini, still having to deal with this op up towards heaven, isn't ready for the player down towards Hut, and now it's Ramza with it all to do, trapped behind the smoke wall in Mini and looking for some way to tie this game up. It would have to be a monstrous 3 frags, and the first one comes through. He has a player right around the vent that he needs to find, and he does! ACO up in heaven has to find the scalp, and the captain delivers in another 1v1 to keep your team in the lead with 5-3. Another pause coming out. It looks like this one perhaps called by the players. Not entirely sure. Unfortunately, we were expected to be able to get this on the HUD, but doesn't look like we are able to find it. So perhaps a tactical timeout coming out from the CT side, looking to try and just game plan. I will confirm that is the case, as M365, they just want to try and catch their breaths, figure out what exactly went wrong there in that fight for the ace site, and how can we fight our way back in. I do have to admit, I am a little surprised that Cave not ready for a player on the site. I know that you do have to pick your battles when you're in the heaven position and you're peeking back down over onto the site, but really, when he's waiting, he knows that his player is just, you know, trapped behind a smoke wall over in Mini. How long do you wait before pulling the trigger? And when you do you maybe try to cover some other spots that might be a little more dangerous first? But Cave definitely not the reason that round's slipping away from M365. White Knight doing a good job trying to hold out over towards Squeaky, and Teisel just an unfortunate little fight not going his way back towards spawn. He sees the player cross, really isn't able to hold that angle for too much longer, because obviously you see the player cross, you think, oh, maybe they're going to be starting to push into me, so you fall back, you're not aware, oh, did he push back over? And Leon, just well aware that he might have some aggression coming from outside, lands a crucial headshot and keeps them in that. So really heads up play from Leon, really heads up play from really all players in that round, as we now find our way into the 9th. Ramza aiming his way outside. In the meantime, got Cave back up here in the heaven position on an M4. Wants to be ready for a quick influx of players, and your team, they're willing just to kill down the clock. They know that White Knight has a proclivity towards this XM, so they know that he might be a little over-eager to try and make something work. ACO gonna nade the door, gonna throw a flash in as well to support that full blinds Focal, but still, just willing to pump the brakes. They want to try and force a mistake out of the M365 team, and I'm even wondering a little, have they misread the economy? Did they maybe think, oh, this is gonna be a little bit of a lighter round on the gun front? Because it looks a little like they're trying to play scared for pistols. I mean, you could see the nade, the flash come through, no capitalization onto it, and now the capitalization has to come. 37 seconds left. Blaze aiming his way over towards this site. A flash comes through, which delays the push, and already we've got White Knight on the flank, but Blaze finds an early frag. Focal falls. The op outside, not able to claim a scalp there for Teisel, but he is still trying just to find something. White Knight on the flank is denied, and Lucifer, this bomb's going to be going down, but it's on B. They fought their way down the vent and taken the B site right under the noses of the CT-sided team. And this round might already be over. I mean, a 2-man save at this point. I was going to say a 3-man save, but a nice play from Bobby to find a frag onto Teisel. and these players so damaged up, and you gotta be aware that, you know, some of these damaged players are gonna be called out, but with so much real estate to have to fight through. Ooh, Ramza not ready for the second player either, but finds it. And might be able to make this at least an expensive round. Nicely done. Isn't ready for the fourth, but I mean, you already found 3. You aren't exactly thinking, oh, there's going to be another player running right into my arms. But a nice job from Ramza to keep it competitive there at the end, and really just to hurt this economy a little bit more. You can see that those extra rifles being dropped is going to damage a few of these players, and if M365 can pull out this round, well, it's going to be looking a little bit of like a broke round going into the next. And in fact, ooh, I thought maybe the scout going to be coming out for a little bit of a half buy. Not going to happen. A little bit of team damage, in fact, coming out, I think, as they were trying to shoot out the windows. And it's Bobby stomping his way across silo, trying to find an opening pick. He's going to be given a fight. Auto director must decide that that fight's not worth watching, and Bobby gets out with just the skin of his teeth with 13 HP. So Teisel posted back up here towards blue box with his op on the outside, but not going to find any scalps early on. And at the same time, I do need to mention, I talked a lot last round. Ooh, Blaze spots out one, but Focal, nice shot, good awareness, and White Knight comes in as well, finds himself a kill. Leon, a good turnaround to claim a frag onto White Knight, and gets themselves onto this bomb site. A flashed Ramza finds his way out, a team flash no less. They've got to be kicking themselves for that one, and the nade connects onto Focal. It does give him a little bit of eyesight into the smoke, but he's not able to secure anything before that bomb goes down. But after's a whole different story. Gets Leon. Teisel here trying to find something with the op, isn't able to connect, and Bobby, absolutely huge 2K, as now Lucifer alone on the site against Cave from the heavens, and Lucifer needs to try and come up big if he wants to deny the CTs a chance at fighting back in. Cave misreads this, isn't expecting at all for Lucifer to be in the smoke, and he is going to act as a demon from hell and get the knife kill off of Cave. And really, in that position, can you blame Cave? You do not expect the T in a 1v1 situation to sit in the smoke in the middle of the site. He drops down just before it goes away, and unfortunately, he's looking with his back turned. That gives Lucifer a way to turn around the middle silo, get behind him, and he just ends it in the most demoralizing way possible. ACO, an early pick coming off of Lucifer as well, going on to Focal, and 2 kills already onto the CTs. With only about 20 seconds expired, ACO with 2 more frags gets himself up onto double digits. And we were singing his praises earlier in the half, and the captain continues to deliver. We know he loves Kerrigan, and right now he's looking to carry his own team here in the second game of the show match. And Cave, I mean, what can you do in this position? It looks like he just wants to try and save over towards outside. A little bit of joshing around there as Bobby shooting at his teammates' legs just to share a little bit of gunfire. Perhaps say, you know what, if they're not going to shoot you, gotta keep you on your toes. And Cave, he does absolutely need to save this gun, so good heads up from him just to get into the T-spawn and save it. But really, I mean, some early aggression comes out into lobby. They try to crunch it, they try to find some early frags, and it just doesn't work out. Unfortunate there for the M365 team, but if we're talking about fortune, you got to look at YT, who's going to be sitting up onto their 8th round. And Cave should be safe here. One player is going to walk a little over near him, but nobody finds themselves a kill towards either side right there at the end. So 7 seconds to go, heading into our final round of the half. Your team, starting out on the T side, M365 starting out on the CT side. And currently, really a score line you'd expect the other way around. At least if you're looking at a favorability on the sides, and Focal trying to close this door actually gets denied a little bit on it, but he is able to escape with his life, 24 HP as well. and might be trying to get into a position where, ooh, maybe he can find a little bit more damage, but Ramza gonna give up the first frag. Focal dropping right into the headshot of Blaze. And ACO, he just wants to catch this player on the ramp push. He knows he's here. Here's the gun coming out and does find the scalp. So a 4v2 situation. The bomb going down over onto the A site. And now it is Teisel with it all to do as Lucifer finds his frag. Bobby finds his own. And a 9-3 half coming out from the Your Team side as they look to try and dominate their way through again to another map win, and with it take the series 2-0. Oh my goodness. We've definitely seen the players on the T side be able to fight their way back from situations like this. We've seen them be able to rally, get their shots on the board, and absolutely destroy. But will they be able to do it with their backs against the wall? One map down in the series, and it looks like it's just going to be a Hail Mary towards ramp. The CT's predicting this, and they're going to be through the molly early. ACO finds one. Leon comes two with two of his own, and it's going to be a knife fight that Leon wins as well. Dominant from Leon. 3 kills found, both players running out of bullets. Bobby claiming Leon's life. Maybe a little bit of BM, a little bit of overconfidence, but Focal now makes it a 1v1, and will Bobby be kicking himself a little for that? Do we call it a mistake? Do we call it overzealousness? Well, regardless of what we call it, we'll call Focal here in the 1v1 against Bobby. So Bobby, the man who decides that 3 is just a little bit of a crowd, is now going to have to be the one that comes up big. Focal assumes that Bobby's going to be playing the bomb, wants to just try and hold off, but no, Bobby has completely given it up. He just wants to play for the B plant. Sits down and just tries to wait for any sort of aggression. And I'm actually not sure where the bomb's down at. Oh, it looks like it's down over on that left ramp. And Focal picks it up, tries to decide where he wants to go. I mean, do you assume the player's gone to B? I don't know. This is such an odd situation. Focal just decides he has to go for it, and what a brutal way to end the 1v1. Bobby in the prime position to take it out, and I mean, if you're Focal, what do you assume there? Not often does a CT shoot his own teammate, you take the 1v2 into a 1v1, and the CT just abandons you to figure out your own way to play the game. I mean, do you think he went A? Do you think he went B? What are you supposed to expect in that situation? And the one thing you're not expecting is for him to be sitting down in the corner ready to knife you in the back. So really no way to blame Focal in that position. And Teisel, well, he tries to go up with a deagle kill of his own, falls to Lucifer, but Cave's there to trade him. 2 players in the heavens looking to take out these T-sided attackers, and it's going to be Blaze finding both. So Cave falls, Focal falls, and now it's Ramza and White Knight looking to try and salvage this second round. Try to get themselves a 4th on the board. Ramza, he's been big so far in this map. He's currently the kill leader for this T side, and the nade gonna come through. It's not enough to finish him off, but nice damage allows ACO to claim him after he claims his compatriot, and your team are looking to be your winners here if they can claim just 2 more rounds on Nuke. And you can see they are just feeling like no matter what they do right now, they cannot lose. We've seen this time and time again. We've seen it in the CS Major. We've seen it here in the server. If you are just feeling like everything you do is correct, then unfortunately for your opponents, there's not much they can do to really stand in your way. But will M365 crack that code? Your team might be incorrectly assuming that they're on a little bit of a weaker buy. They did buy up into that last one, but they still have enough for AKs here. They've got a Galil on the players who can't. And even with that, you got Lucifer still sitting on a USP. You do have 3 M4s, an ACL with this MP9, which he has shown himself to be quite a sleuth with, but they've also fully given up the ramp position. Leon is holding for any sort of sneak through up towards heaven. And will Ramza give him what he's looking for? Looks like he's thinking about it, but at the same time, they've given full ramp control, so do you expect that they also abandon Heaven? I don't think many would, but White Knight's also maybe giving them a little bit of surprising info. Hey, we've got a little bit of free utility up here, and Tyso comes up with a free frag. Nice bait from Ramza. Takes a good chunk of damage in the process, and will they be ready for Blaze sitting up here in the heavens? They are! Tyso swings it. He's ready for it, and he absolutely crunches onto Blaze, but can't crunch onto Lucifer, who once again, these instant kill weapons for him are coming up phenomenally. Another kill with the Zeus for Lucifer, and he is right now the league leader in Zeus frags. White Knight going dominant here on the bottom site. Does spot out ACO. ACO just trying to home in his spray, and now both players are just a breath away from dying. White Knight, will this be his way of salvaging it? And ACO tries to dive in and add insult to injury with a knife kill through the smoke from the heavens, but isn't quite ready for the cruel bitch that gravity can be. So 11-4, and Microsoft 365, they have doubled their rounds from map 1. And will that be the breath of life they need to fight back in, going up against the Pistols and Negev from the CT side? ACO, it's going to be interesting to see where he takes this. Leon, one of the only players without a pistol on the MP9, finds a player over towards Squeaky, is able to get the kill with the USP in the end, but does lose most of his life in the process. Cave at the same time taking away that Negev, but Leon coming up huge once again. A kill with the AK. Keeps this a 3-all game, but it's Tyso to end his life, and with it, perhaps the chance at the round for your team, but oh, and he's found out by Lucifer, sitting there in the corner so long that even I don't catch him. And he finds a kill, but I don't think it's going to be enough. As you can see, Blaze with only 1 HP to his name. He has been a force to be reckoned with throughout this series, but is it going to matter at all when you only have 1 HP to fight your way back in with? Well, he's over in credit, and that gives him the first kill! And oh my gosh, 1 HP, but no util on either of these players to find it. So, Blaze, an AK to his name, a Galil on White Knight. White Knight absolutely gigantic in the round before, taking it for the 3v1 to a 1v1 win, and he's able to come up again in the clutch and find another round for the T side as they fight back in this David versus Goliath match. 6 rounds separate these teams, and your team, they're thinking, okay, well, we were feeling like this was right within our grasp. They made a few little, let's call it jovial plays in their excess of round wins. And now maybe they're thinking, okay, might be time to start pushing through and winning off the kills once again. Lucifer early into the lobby, and Ramza, him and Focal combining to find 1 each. Focal does fall to this XM, and Lucifer coming up huge with a 2K of his own. ACO, a flank from Ramp, isn't able to connect, and Cave, a 2K to claim it alongside his teammate Tyso and get M365 their 6th. So, 5 rounds separate these teams. It's going to be dang near full loss bonus for the CT side, and some of their players are quite broke. So we're going to have to see, will one of them... Yes, they will have the XM coming out onto Lucifer. Nobody buys Blaze, but he's been a real firecracker at that Deagle himself. So it's not exactly a bad shot. And Lucifer, he's right up towards the heavens again. Gets spotted out early. Does do a good bit of damage, though, and is able to find the frag. Bobby with a nice headshot into Tyso as well. And Cave, he's trying to find this player that he hears jumping around. Does manage to finally take the XM Demon down. And Bobby, a nice little shot there through the edge of the box to claim White Knight. That makes the 4v2. And all of a sudden, M365, they've got to really lock in. And all of a sudden, it falls to Ramza. He has been a force in this match fallen off a little bit on this T side from his dominance on CT, where he was really one of the only shining spots for this let's just call him Microsoft side. A Windows fan himself, but Blaze looking to bring up the heat. And now your team within 1 round of winning it all. It has to be a 6-round streak from the T's to fight back and get us into overtime just to fight for an opportunity to get to the decider. And we do have Tysil dropping out of the server, so we will jump right back into another pause. And that gives us maybe a little bit of time to reflect on what we've seen so far. I mean, both teams really have been progressive on this T side, pushing through, getting some early damage, but Lucifer, time and time again, he is just able to fight into that lobby, get up into heaven, and find a frag or two, which really just decimates the opposition. Nobody has been holding for him these past 2 rounds, and he has just been there to punish. At the same time, Focal, great work from up on Silo. He's finding the early headshots. He's finding those openers for his team. But immediately after he finds them, he has to worry about this player right on his heel that's there to rip his life away. White Knight, he wants to try and get his own XM down and dirty. Lucifer, going to be looking to try and fight him. It will be quite the show if we'll see an XM duel coming out towards the lobby. And at the same time, the rest of the T's gonna just be thinking about what exactly they want to do with their remaining funds. Focal, not much to his name here. Tysil gonna be coming back with only 3,800, and Cave will have enough if he wants to get the op with no armor. But I think at this point, he's gonna need to be grabbing some utility, grab some armor, grab an AK, and try to find some impact himself. 10 kills to his name, and we're gonna need to see him. We're gonna need to see White Knight. We're gonna see a lot of people show up from the T side to try and fight back in. ACO 17-9, the captain absolutely showing how he wants this game to be played. Also the kill leader at the end of game 1. He has just been a force to be reckoned with throughout this entire series thus far. And if he just continues showing this, it's just hard to tell how we're going to go 6 rounds without him just popping off once and securing YT their 13th. The same time, Blaze, an absolute headshot machine this match. We've seen Leon just absolutely destroying whenever he finds himself in an off angle, finds himself with someone on the flank. Lucifer just aggressive, shoving his way in, destroying anybody in his path. And at the same time, Bobby, we see him out there. He's having a good time. He's playing for the fans, but he's still there showing up and providing impact where it's needed for his team. So, yes, there's been a few, jokes, some goofs, some gaffes, whatever other synonyms you want to throw at them, but your team really has shown that they have the firepower to give them the allowances that they have been taking. So, we will pop over into a break while we wait for Tysil to pop back into the server. My name, as always, is Austie. Thank you for joining us here at the Austie Pro League here in Showmatch number 2. We are excited to be bringing you the full league soon. But for now, enjoy yourselves, and we'll come back to see, are we going to be seeing a quick end to the series, or will M365 show us some spirit and fight our way to a Map 3 decider? I don't know. You don't know either. That's why we play the game, so I will be back in just a few moments with the remainder of Nuke. So it looks like we're jumping into the round, but due to Tysil still not being able to reconnect, let's see exactly what the players are saying. It looks like he's loading in, and it looks like your team is willing to give a homie stock to their opponents. That is some great sportsmanship coming out from the CT side. So in case anybody's curious, unfortunately here at the APL, we are currently still working to figure out exactly what we're going to be looking at in terms of hosting the rounds. We are not able to implement a technical pause just for this, but we will be looking to remedy this in the future. But for now, your team is doing the sportsman-like thing and giving a round over to the T side just to allow them a little bit of a way to continue fighting. They know that the captain's coming back here in a moment. I thought at first that Focal was going to be going in to take advantage of the good times, the good graces. But no, just a little jovialness. Everybody appreciating the sportsmanship and the heart coming out from these competitors as we look to jump into round number 20. So, that's something that we really love to see from these 10 players. They're here just for the love of the game. They're here to put on a good show. Excuse me, good show for themselves, for anybody watching. So they don't want it to end in a way that deserves anything but the best. So, M365, it will be interesting to see. Will they take this little bit of grace and come with it into a win? While Blaze already finding a kill onto Ramza. Bobby following up with Cave. Bobby also spotting out a player towards Silo. Isn't able to identify it in time. And all 5 of these players pushing out towards outside are able to connect onto the T's. And oh my gosh, they give them an inch. But it looks like they're wanting to take the whole damn mile. Focal will get an open B site to plan onto. And it looks like they will know quickly that this is B. They do have some players inside to hear it out. But it's gonna need to be some huge performances, and Lucifer showing why he is a denizen of hell, continuing to activate here in the last round with the Zeus. And oh my gosh, the good sportsmanship from last time comes into some, we'll call it bad manners here, as they want to end it with the knife, and Leon will. We've seen knife kills, we've seen Zeus kills, and we are gonna see an end to this match? Maybe not. And they want to keep going. So, call it what you want. Call it bad manners. Call it showboating. They're gonna give another round to the T's. And with the bomb plant coming out, with a few kills going the way of the T side, this is going to allow themselves quite a bit of weaponry coming in here. Focal with an interesting buy here onto the Bison as well. And we're going to be seeing what happens. All 5 T-side players rushing outside. Nobody onto Silo. There is going to be the characteristic Lucifer flank here up onto the heavens. But it looks like he's not going to be fast enough to catch them out towards Secret. Well, he will if Cave and White Knight can't figure out a way to get down fast enough. Cave coming through, Tyson coming through, Focal coming through, and all 3 kills benefiting the T side. It's now Bobby and Blaze to try and close this out. The B-boys themselves, and Blaze finds his first down on Dark in the dastardly dank depths, but he finds one before losing his own head. And now Bobby wants to try and capitalize here onto the Vent player. Don't know that we'll even get to see the conclusion of this. But Bobby knows he's here. And you know he wants to try and get the knife. But he's going to end up having to take the skull. And Tysol spots him out, but low HP. Bobby, he does have an opportunity here, but he needs to find 2 players. One's currently over towards the ramp side, and he is able to spam him down. Smoke be damned. And now it's only 3 rounds to go between these teams. Overtime is on the horizon if your team makes just a few mistakes. I mean, 15 kills is all it would take to get Microsoft 365 into an overtime position, and the money's still pretty decent over onto the CT side. They could have afforded to buy up their pistoled players, but Blaze going to take that Deagle. Leon going to take the USP, and he's actually hanging around in spawn. I'm wondering if he maybe is having a little bit of a game issue himself, but it's going to be Focal rushing on in, finds the demon himself, and with that, an early frag. Leon on the CT come up, going to be found as well, and Blaze with only 22 HP to his name, so Blaze is sitting on an M4, not just the Deagle, but seems to be proficient with both, and Focal showing perhaps why the Bison's in his repertoire, as 2 kills found with it, and they're running gunplay. It's gotten him and his team into striking distance of the round. They need to get the bomb in here to be planted. Currently sitting outside back lobby. So Ramza retrieves it. ACO, though, he's snuck into lobby, finds 2. Cave a quick trade, but it's Bobby. He's in the lobby, or should I say he's in mini, but now he's in hell, as White Knight sends him down, and 2 rounds remain between these teams. Now, one was given over through a homie stock, but another was given over through bad manners, so we'll have to see. I mean, could this be M365 fighting back in and getting us to a 3rd map? gonna be 5 players very quickly here. A Zeus and a Flash coming out. And Lucifer deciding he doesn't want to strike off just that. Nade comes through. It's a little too... Oh, no, it actually lands perfectly in there to do a sizable chunk of the Devil's health. And Teisel looks to try and find something. Finds ACO, who's been a powerhouse, up at 20 kills. Leon finds one of his own, but a 4-3 advantage. Ramza and Cave, both a little worse for wear. And White Knight, not on his XM this time. But Lucifer, it's not going to matter when you got the one-hit gun. And I'm not talking about the op. I'm talking about that dastardly boy from the heavens. Ramza and Cave now. About 75 HP combined. Cave on the big green. And he's looking to try and hold it in an advantageous position. They've smoked off one side of the ramp. It's a good setup. And they're still waiting for a player to come up from ramp, but right now all 3 currently down in secret. The door open. Cave's going to be aware of that. One player pushing out Office. Blaze looking down towards the double doors. The Molly comes out to block single, and already Cave has to come up huge, and it's Blaze and Lucifer to set the fires to M365's chances of getting back into the game, and it's a much closer affair, but it goes no less the way of your team as they take the game, the series, and the match, and show themselves a great start here before the league has even begun. So thank you to both of our teams for coming out and showing a great match to not only myself, but the viewers in Twitch chat. So thank you for everybody that did decide to come out and watch these teams put on a show for us. I appreciate them. I know you appreciate them. I have greatly enjoyed watching this match unfold, and thank you everybody for your continued support as we look to try and bring the best Pug League in America some more great games. Thank you, have a great night, and enjoy.